It'll work. We'll try it again. Play it again, Sam, as they say. Yeah. Well, it looks like the microphone's doing something now. Not sure which one it is. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't work, I really don't know what's going on because I don't know. Does it work? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Maybe. Indicate it for me. Yay. Wow. That was for us. Third time's the charm, I guess. I don't know. I think these headphones. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? It might have been the fact that my mic in here wasn't plugged in all the way. It looked a little loose now. I bet that's what it was because everything else was connected, said it was connected. So that's fine. We'll use the fancy smancy big one today. So anyway, hello, Kenny. Hello, Jogman. Hello, everybody. Yeah, well, I didn't really say too much, at least. So not much was really missed. Basically, I'll start again. Yeah, static. I don't know what. It's probably just because the connection wasn't good. But yeah, pretty much I just said, I was doing this one, the stream right here because kind of had a pretty free day. It's my schedule's been sort of weird lately where I'm like, I have a couple days set up where there really isn't much going on. And like, it's like there's things I want to do, but I'm not really sure what I want to tackle first. And then just other things where it's like everybody wants to do things on other days. So today was one of those days that was a bit quiet. And I felt like, I guess I can do a stream. But as usual, you guys can send in questions. And in the meantime, I'll just talk about random stuff. Mentioned this before, and I'll probably say it again in a more official capacity in some other video or something. But I'm going to try and get a few videos that I've been wanting to get done before the end of the summer, because probably come the end of August, in September or so, I'm probably going to be going on sort of a hiatus for a couple months. I don't know exactly what the output for videos is going to be during that time, just because I'll be really busy with school and whatnot. So I will be able to figure that out once I'm doing it. I don't want to say there'll be no videos, but they probably won't be anything particularly big. Like maybe I'll do a random podcast or stream like this on some weekend or something. But yeah, so yeah, that's going to be coming up, and I'll probably do something about that. Talk about that at some point. But once again, guys, like it, share this, spread it around, get some people involved. And depending on how many people send me questions and the frequency, the longer I'll do this. Got my water. Probably not going to go super late because I'm going to try to get up a little bit earlier tomorrow. So that'll be key. Let's see. Kenny, Space Jam 2 probably isn't worth it, right? I think that's what you meant to say. It's interesting you bring that up because I've been obviously seeing a lot of advertisements for that, and a lot of people are dismissing it. It's probably going to be bad. Now, I admit the previews didn't really look that enticing to me, but the thing about Space Jam in general is that it looks like it's about the same as the original movie, in the sense that the first movie, as we all know now, is basically the biggest commercial disguised as a movie ever produced. I mean, it really was just like product placement, the movie, with a very thin plot combining Warner Brothers characters and some big NBA players at the time. But what's weird about it is that as much as it was a big advertisement that people really don't think was that good in retrospect, it did touch the lives of a lot of kids that grew up, in the mid 90s. I think if you were just the right age, like I was for a little while. I think that movie came out when I was like in first grade or something. And I really liked it for a while. I enjoyed Space Jam. I don't have any like real nostalgic fondness for it, like in the sense that I want to go back and rewatch it. Like I kind of liked it for a while when I was a kid, but at some point just stopped watching it and never really cared to go back. Whereas it's kind of, and so therefore I don't really have much of a desire to see the second movie, but I don't I feel like it probably couldn't be much worse than the first one. But it's hard to say, I guess. Probably have a lot of the same problems. But it's weird because Space Jam is, of all the nostalgic IPs to capitalize on for older viewers. I mean, I'm sure that that taps into it for a lot of people, but it's not like it's this big, broad series, or I don't even think it's considered a classic film, really, by a lot of people because everybody knows what it was. But I don't know. Maybe people love it anyway. Oh, thanks, Kenny. Yeah, I do have a pretty good selection of videos to go back and watch and listen to. Yeah, that is true. I kind of wanted to like get to some landmark, like maybe like 1,000 videos, and not all the videos are of the same level of quality either. I mean, I think that's always been one problem with my channel is that I've got a lot of topics I'm interested in, and I have a hard time picking what I want to do. And it's like I know that if I just focused on one particular thing and did it the exact same way, that would probably be better for what people expect. But one thing about my channel is there's a lot of variety. That's for sure. Pepe Le Pew was canceled. Wasn't that because he was sexually harassing the female skunk? Isn't that the idea? He's not allowed. Well, well, to be fair, I mean, do you like Pepe Le Pew? Because I've actually never met anybody that said that he was like their favorite Looney Tunes character. I was kind of indifferent about him. I got the joke, but I mean, the joke is predicated on he's sexually assaulting people, so it's like probably not very PC now. But it's interesting because that's kind of a big debate about retroactively going back and adjusting old cartoons, and you've got the two perspectives of, all right, well, it was innocent at the time, it was just a cartoon, but a lot of things can be like if it's about racial stuff, stuff that's offensive, then yeah, I don't know. I didn't really know. I had heard something about him being canceled, I guess, but it's that same idea of like, should we remove stuff in that's prevalent in the past because I mean it's representative of the past so that we can understand the context of it and learn about our mistakes and improve upon them. I mean, if you just erase history, you never knew about it, you can't understand it, and then people are more likely to make the same issues. And though there was a time when that sort of stuff was acceptable as funny, but it's like very sexist or whatever, and obviously it wasn't right, but the progression of society through media, right, representation. So I don't know. I can understand the backlash to the character, but I don't know if they removed him or anything. Favorite cartoon opening? That's a good question. Uh, hmm. Well, I mean, there's really that big vault of things I grew up with in the 80s and 90s, like all those big action shows had obviously the legendary openings with all the rock and the really catchy themes. Not as much of that now. My favorite cartoon opening. There's a couple. I mean, I actually want to say the 60s Spider-Man theme is pretty catchy. Spider-Man does whatever Spider can. I don't know if it's my favorite opening. If we're talking about like the artwork and the editing and stuff involved in that, the lyrics are catchy, but maybe not the music. It's probably X-Men animated series because that's like the most epic opening ever, pretty much. I also really like the Batman Beyond one too. So probably one of those. Uh, I think I've seen LeBron James in a couple movies, and I do think he. From what I saw, he was a better actor. Thing is, Michael Jordan. The only thing I ever saw him do was Space Jam, which I thought he was fine in, but he was basically playing himself. I think so. I don't know how much range he had though. LeBron, I'm not really sure. I'll be honest. I'm so not a basketball guy or anything that I thought. I mean, I knew LeBron James was a big name years ago, but I didn't know he was still a big enough name to be in Space Jam. And I guess once again, it was another movie that got delayed. But I don't know. I thought I don't know. I know that people can play professional athletic sports for a good while, but I didn't know how old he was. I guess. Um, Wasn't the Canker sisters like that? I'm not sure actually. I don't know if I know who they are. Oh, from Ed, Ed and Eddie. I haven't watched a lot of that show. I don't really know. I know a lot of people grew up with that one and liked it, but I never really watched much of it. I've heard it's a fun show. Honest thoughts on Yelena as a character in Black Widow. Wasn't that her sister? Um, my honest thoughts. Let me just double check because I think. Hold on a minute. I want to make sure I know that's the right person. Uh, yeah, yeah, her sister, Yelena. Um, as a character, I, th- I actually really liked her, and I admit that I'm not an expert on the Black Widow proper. So you might know more than I do, and that's perfectly fine. To be honest, I'm going to spread this around. I really liked her. I thought that she provided some of the good like comedic relief for the movie. Like I definitely got some laughs from some of her lines. I think she had some good comedic delivery. I'll admit that I was a bit kind of resistant to the character a little bit at first because I thought that she was a little annoying. I thought that she was obviously kind of uh, critical of Black Widow, and she was giving her a hard time. But at the same time, when we got to see a little bit more about her past, so to speak, and her motivations and whatnot, I was like, okay, well, maybe maybe she's all right. But I legitimately thought the character was pretty good. I don't know if I would say that I'm that excited for her to take on the mantle of Black Widow because I've heard there's a rumor that she's going to be the next Black Widow, and I think that's honestly my one of my bigger issues with the MCU right now is that I know that as a studio, Marvel and Disney, of course, want to make money and they want to continue on with that, but they're in a really weird position right now because unless they can really put X Men and Fantastic Four to the forefront, and I'd say Fantastic Four maybe over X Men because X Men's fairly still fairly fresh in people's minds. I think like you can't really reboot some of those iconic characters like Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man for people, and Chris Evans is Captain America. So it's like they were very much a big part of the Avengers that people have known and they built up for years. And it's like you can't just you can't replace those characters because in a weird way, the setup for Endgame was really kind of the end of an era in a way. And it kind of was felt almost like the end of the MCU, like it was this big, multi crossover event that sort of closed the book on some of those characters, which is fine. But now, and I guess you could take a break. And much like comics, they're shifting it away to having some other characters be the other characters by taking on their roles. But it's always been hard for people to accept that in comics anyway, because a lot of times certain characters, superheroes, are portrayed by their alter egos, and that's what we know them as. Which it's a tough sell for that many characters within the comics and outside of them. So they're trying to put the focus on other characters who aren't quite as well known or aren't quite as marketable because frankly they're just not as popular or I want to say as cool. Like I mean, like is Falcon or Winter Soldier as popular or well known or liked as Captain America? I don't think so. So it's kind of they got to try to put that focus towards them, and at the same time, you know, you don't want them to completely reboot things again. So I think they should focus on some of those other characters anyway. But in any case, yeah, I don't know if Black Widow, like I wanted to see Black Widow a bit more because I felt like she was just kind of a background character, and she finally gets a movie, but she's kind of sharing it with a bunch of other people. So I don't know. It's a bit. I don't know if I want her to be the next Black Widow, but I know that's what they're pushing it for. And people like this actress apparently. Like my one buddy John was like dropping her name like every time he mentioned her. Like I knew who she was and was like no. And apparently she'd been like in Midsummer and some other movies that I hadn't seen. Like she's had a couple of years where she's blown up, and I'm like, oh, that explains why they cast her. But I had no idea who she was. um, I think as long as the car hot hurt, it felt like it showed he was wrong and he eventually learned. Got hurt. Oh, I think in terms of them learning, like growing, Voltron, X-Men, Transformers, and Mega Man. Mega Man. What's the most definitive Batman experience to you? The most definitive Batman experience. Well, it's definitely got to be Batman and Robin, Joel Schumacher. That's the way to go. No, this is the thing where you run into a question where you hear it all the time and you probably give the same answer. I mean, of course, it depends on what you're looking for, but I think if we're talking about, I mean, the most well-rounded one is, of course, Batman the Animated Series. I feel like you're going to get everything Batman there. It's a good balance of everything. I think that's the best. Though I do think the Burton Batman is, I think it's very good at looking at sort of the atmosphere around the character. It feels very Batman to me in a more gothic sense, but I don't. But obviously, it's not the best representation of how the character's typically portrayed. At the same time, so I don't know. Probably Batman the Animated Series. You should probably react to Nickelodeon Smash Brothers. Are they doing a Smash Brothers show? Nickelodeon. Let me look this up. Let's see. I don't see. Sometimes you guys tell me things, and I got no idea. Let's see. Put another nickel in the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Let's see if I can remember how to do this, because you might get actually. All right, let's see. We got an ad. You might get your reaction here. Okay, it's actually an ad for Space Jam 2. They knew we were talking about it. See. Let me see here. I wonder if I can figure this out. It's been a while since I've done this. Maybe. Maybe I can do it. Maybe I can't do it. I'm not sure. Maybe. I'm not sure if I can. I am not sure if I can do that. Let me double check and see if I can. Hold on. I feel like I've done that before. I don't know. YouTube's changed so many things, and they've actually made it more difficult in some ways. I'll react to it right now. I'll have to just look at the images. This is one of the benefits of having the headphones on. But Nickelodeon Art All-Star Brawl, official announcement through IGN. Get ready to brawl. We got Ninja Turtles. We got, Michelangelo's there. We got whoever this kid is. Is that Lincoln Loud? I don't know who that is. Wow. Let's see. Who the Powered Toast Man? Oh, that's Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob. I remember her. So these are all Nickelodeon characters. Patrick's there. Oh yeah, that one thing from Monsters. Oh, Nigel Thornberry is there. Wait. So, I see what you mean. It's like Smash, because it is Smash Brothers, but just with Nickelodeon characters there. That's great. You got SpongeBob there. A couple of these characters, I don't know. Oh, that's the girl from Hey Arnold, Helga. Oh, Reptar's there. That's cool. That's adorable. That's so adorable. See, that's something kids might appreciate, and older kids. Yo, Zim's there. Zim. Danny Phantom. Oh, wow. That's so great. Oh, Leonardo's there. Great. Probably my favorite turtle. Wow, that's cool. That actually looks pretty cute. I like that. that's mostly like classic Nickelodeon that I grew up with, or sort of grew up with. I didn't have Nickelodeon. I don't think I had the channel as a kid, but I saw a lot of that stuff, or was around it. I've seen a lot of those shows at one point or another. Huh. It really is. It really is a Nickelodeon Smash. That's funny. That's so funny. Yeah, Taskmaster. I like the look of Taskmaster, but they try to make Taskmaster as the main villain, but Taskmaster was just a henchman, really henchwoman, I guess. They may join in Miss Marvel. Oh, man, that'd be cool. Endgame was the end of an era. Not only Avengers gone, Netflix, Marvel had their own conclusions. That's true. It does feel like the end for a lot of those things. And but the other one feels like game stories need help. I mean, to be honest, most of the stuff I've been playing in games has been older stuff from like 10 or 20 years ago. I've been playing a lot of stuff on Steam. So I've actually been going through and playing a lot of like stories that in gaming that are well known. Like, I've been playing Bioshock, which has been really good. I just got to the twist in that. So, like how things are now, I don't know. I think I'm trying to think like the newest game that I played that had a good story was I really liked that Spider-Man game they came out with. I thought that was good. Uh, yeah, it does feel like DLC, doesn't it? That's funny. Yeah, well, Phase 4 has been a little iffy. Yeah, I played a bit of the Final Fantasy VII remake. I was actually playing with my former fiance at the time, and yeah, we were going through it, and we played a bit of it. We got right to the point with when Cloud goes to the massage parlor, the hand massage thing, and we paid for the best massage, and it ended with Cloud being very excited at the end, and it's as far as I got. From what I saw of it when we played it, I actually really enjoyed the. I mean, I enjoyed the visuals, obviously, and I thought it was a cool update for the most part. But there was a lot of padding in it, like a lot of these little side missions, and it was just like they're really stretching out the story, which I don't know how I felt about, but it seemed cool. I liked what they expanded on. Kind of want to go back and actually play the original again because I never beat it. So another classic I got to try. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like you're right. I feel like those are characters that I mostly recognize those characters. So I was like, oh yeah. But if there's newer Nickelodeon characters in there, I didn't even really recognize them. Is Goku considered more hardworking than Vegeta since Veggie thought he could be strong due to birthright? That's a good question, actually. I feel like they're both pretty equally hardworking. I mean, that's kind of a big aspect of their characters is pushing themselves and always trying to push to their limits and beyond the limit to be the best at what they can do and, really break themselves a lot to get there. Uh, I kind of always got the sense that Vegeta was a little harder working than Goku because I mean, that's Goku, of course, is extremely hardworking, but he's the protagonist, and he is inherently the most powerful anyway. Those for that potential, and he always gets those big boosts. Whereas I feel like Vegeta just, I don't know. I feel like he gets there more through his training, purely from what I remember. So I don't know. I feel like Vegeta might be a little harder working, although he definitely felt like he should have gotten it, and it wouldn't have been so hard for him because he had that birthright, but it was kind of the opposite because of the writing, I guess. But that I don't know. I always got the sense we see. I feel like Goku trains hard, and he's certainly about that. But I feel like we see Vegeta just really, really going hard a lot of the time. Writer that did Dragon Ball live action movie doesn't want his name associated with it. I found out. I think he was actually one of the writers for the X Files. He wrote a bunch of X Files episodes. I think some good ones. So the guy's written good stuff that I've liked. I was like, yeah, but I think the writer did apologize for it, or one of the writers or producers did like a long time ago. So I was like, well, hey, he took it on, couldn't do it, and there's so many things. Yeah, I don't know. The It's very easy to blame just one person for when a project like that doesn't go along, but making a movie is tough, and there's a lot of factors that contribute to it. And yeah, the script I don't think was very good for that, but I'm sure there was some studio interference and other hands in the pot there that I don't think you can blame it on just one writer. But it doesn't surprise me that he might have been embarrassed by it at the very least. Uh, yeah, kind of would agree with that, Joggin. A plot twist I don't agree with. Uh, I'm gonna look it up. This could be a potential spoiler for things. Let's see. Just ones that I'm looking at for movie plot twists. Ones I didn't agree. I'm usually pretty happy with the plot twists. Well, Soylent Green's spoiled. Actually, I'm looking up all these famous plot twists, and I actually am okay with most of them. I think I'll tell you what. There's no real. I'm sure there's a lot of dumb plot twists or ones I didn't agree with back in the day, but I think. Well, just what's popping in my mind now because I've been playing Bioshock, and I don't know if you played it, but I was kind of doing some. Yeah, I was looking through some walkthroughs because I was stuck at one point, and I found out that there's kind of two villains in the game, and of course Andrew Ryan is the ominous voice, and I love that the whole thing's integrated by audio stuff. You're just hearing people the whole game, but yeah, you think that there's going to be this one villain who's kind of the dystopian ruler, but then there's a bit of a twist, and turns out there's another villain, and I was like, I'll try not to spoil it in case anybody hasn't played it, and I didn't get that spoiled for me, thankfully. But I was like, oh, it's like, who's this character they're talking about? Oh, wait, it's that guy, and so I was like, oh man, I was I thought it was a good twist because of all the emotions you had associated with a certain character. So, but the problem is that the villain that we kind of we kind of go from like this dystopian overlord guy who's seems really scary and evil, and but then the guy that's actually like sort of ultimately like another threat is just sort of this seedy con man, and it's like he must have been really good because it just seems almost like a lower level type of villain in a way. And I haven't finished the game yet, but yeah, that twist is like it's a good twist, but I don't know if I really like the result of it, if that makes sense. Um, yeah, does change something great. Yeah, hopefully it'll change. Hey, Hero. See, Hero had his stream last night and inspired me, so that's one reason we can blame him for me streaming. How you doing, Hero? According to him, he wants them to do his original script. Oh, I wonder what the original script was. Oh yeah, yeah, Hero. Check out the Nickelodeon Smash Brothers if you haven't already. They just had me watch it. It's pretty funny. Let's see. I consider the DCU the beginning. Wonder Woman. Yep, yep. Am I excited for animated Star Wars by some big studios? I didn't even know that was a thing. Is that a thing? I mean, there was the Clone Wars, which has, I know has the. I think that's Disney, isn't it? Are there other? Who else would be doing? Or is Disney going to do another animated studio Star Wars show? I know that they had the Bad Batch recently. I think they're the only ones that can do it, right? Is that what you mean? JoJo ending is near. Feels bad. I think that's Stone Ocean, isn't it? I don't know. There's a side conversation going on in the chat, so I'll temporarily look away from there as people share the video and spread it around, get some people in here, send in more questions. Let's see, and I'm just gonna look away for a bit while you guys are doing that. Let's see. Talked about Bioshock. Yep, as I mentioned, that's mostly what I've been doing is playing a lot of old school games. I've been watching some of Civi 11, his videos. One buddy got me into his stuff, and he mostly reviews like older, kind of old school classic FPS games. And he got me watching his reviews of this game, Blood. Just got me so intrigued by it, so excited by it for some reason. His passion for the game that I downloaded it. I had to go to GOG instead of Steam to get it, and I've been playing through it, and it is hard, but it is very satisfying. It is very satisfying feeling the explosions, the blood splatter. There's some early physics effects that are fun. I like the voice actor. He's pretty good, Caleb. He's got a lot of the one-liners. It's fun. It's really cool. Kind of want to play the bad sequel. Let's see. Also, something been on my mind is the movie Phantasm. I don't know if you guys have seen that. I remember a long time ago I was supposed to do like this big. I remember my friend Justin and I talked a while ago about doing like this thing. We went through all the movies, and for some reason that just never happened. I don't know if it'll happen eventually, but who knows? It's so busy. But I always really liked Phantasm. I think it's probably one of my favorites. It might be my favorite monster-based fan series. With like kind of slasher-esque creature feature series, kind of. Because I just really like the tall man and his weird plot that we don't quite understand. He seems supernatural, but he's kind of sci-fi, and those sphere things that have the dagger things that kind of go into people's heads. It's just a creepy idea. There's some body horror in there. Really cool atmosphere. The first movie's really good. And from what I remember, I liked all the ones I saw. So that's something I usually can't say for a horror series with a lot of sequels. And ran a D&D Cyberpunk 2020 game recently, which I thought went pretty well. Got to do it in person with some people. That was fun. It just kind of got me into this this sort of mood where I'm kind of been inspired to maybe try and run some games like I'd like. And I was wondering what my favorite tabletop system is. And I've obviously used some D20 systems pretty frequently, like Pathfinder I'm very familiar with, and that's always easy to pick up for me, though maybe not for new players. I think 5e is pretty easy by comparison if you want to get into that sort of thing for kind of classic fantasy stuff. It is less complicated, although I don't think it's that dissimilar from Pathfinder, though. It's like they just kind of really narrow down the skills and customization, but you still have different attacks and different spells and whatnot. So it's fine. I think my favorite stuff is stuff that's very it's very RP based, but there is kind of a fun combat system where there's a couple different weapons you can use and stuff, but I don't know. It's just simple, but still effective. And like all flesh must be eaten in the world of darkness, or honestly, probably my favorite systems just pick up and go, and you could have some good horror themed games with those. But yeah, we were talking about Wizard of Oz, and if like you could convert Wizard of Oz characters into like a tabletop system, and if you could, and Wizard of Oz would be a setting, and it's very easy to do, I think, because of all the fantasy in it. And surely enough, I checked on, I think, Reddit, and some people have had that discussion. So I looked at my little topic thing. That's literally all I had to say. So let's look back at the question and see, did people figure this up? All right, so let's see. What did people say? Now I'm going to look back at the questions. Yeah, it has a lot of older characters. Yeah, I was surprised about that too. Let's see. Part 8 ends in August. Wow, they've yeah, JoJo's chugging along, isn't it? Really is. Let's see. Rise of TNT. Best chemistry between friends in anime. People, I want to say it's like people that get along well, probably, right? If I remember correctly, I think the Get Backers had pretty good chemistry. That's hard though, because you got Wolfwood and Vash had good chemistry. I feel like Kenshin got along pretty well with all his friends. Um, a lot of the different groupings in Dragon Ball did. I mean, of course, the Alphonse and Elric brothers, the Elric brothers with Edward and Alphonse, but that's sort of cheating because they're brothers and what they went through. Uh, Actually, the Digidestined had pretty good chemistry. It was pretty believable that they all got along, but they were kids that got on each other's nerves. That was pretty good. Uh, Sailor Scouts. I don't know. I actually don't know what the answer to that one would be. The best chemistry. Between friends? I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. That's a tough one. Anime endings? Do you mean like ending themes or just like conclusions, Kenny? Because I feel like when people bring up like endings, they mean like ending themes. And I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm not sure what you mean. Must elaborate. Conclusions. Conclusions. Give me some hard ones tonight. Like an ending that I thought wrapped up well and I didn't have any problems with, because a lot of anime endings aren't very good. In all fairness, at least ones that are not at least ones that are based on a manga that's still going. Unfortunately, my memory to some of these things is like not very good. Like I have to think about some of the anime I've seen. I think Samurai 7 had a pretty good conclusion. So did Basilisk, even though it was sad. Speed Grapher had a good ending, I think. Escaflowne had sort of a weird ending, but was good. I'm trying to actually remember how Trigun ended. I think it was okay. I think I liked the Trigun ending. Blue Gender, I didn't like the ending. I remember thinking that ending was ridiculous. Evangelion, I kind of think the ending's challenging, but I don't know. I actually enjoy the ending of the anime, but it's so weird and cryptic and strange that I get why people don't like it. I'm just going through like some of the classics. Paranoid Agent, I actually thought had a pretty good ending. But the best one. Not Full Metal Alchemist, ironically enough. You really got me with this one. I don't know which one I can decide is the best. Maybe I'll just say Basilisk for now, because of all the anime that I liked, it had an ending that worked for the show and didn't leave me wondering what happened or feeling like something was rushed. So I'll say that for now. What? They said FMA was generic how? With its ending? Shit. I mean, Brotherhood had a nicer conclusion. More upbeat for sure. Like I can't say that I don't prefer, because obviously the 2003 show ends with the movie, which I have mixed feelings about how that ended. I don't love the ending of the story, unfortunately. It's okay. I like the Brotherhood ending more, but it's like I admit it's about more of a feel good ending and it feels more definitive, but it's also less interesting, less challenging. So I could get them saying it's generic, but at least it feels like a solid conclusion. It's literally one of the things about Brotherhood I think is actually better than the 03 series. Is I do think it has a solid ending that is nice. Let's see. Yeah, Western comics. I everything I hear about Western comics now is just like the last couple years is rough. Like, I mean, I try to be kind of open minded, but some of the things I see that like officially licensed artwork, like some of the stuff I've seen is just ugly or just it just looks poorly drawn. I know people that just draw better, and I'm like, wow, like how did this? I don't know. It's not even a stylistic thing. It's like some of it's just not very appealing looking stuff, and it's getting there. So like the artwork isn't very good, and the storylines are kind of getting sort of bogged down. I think more by maybe by trying to be too inclusive rather than from what I understand, having great stories. Though I'll admit, I don't know a lot of that for sure because I've stayed out of it. Like the comics that I have read recently, like I'm probably still a couple years behind on my most recent stuff. Like I liked a lot of the Dark Knight Metal stuff. That crossover was pretty cool, and that some of the stuff that guy's run, like with the totality and stuff like that. What was it like? Search for like something about. I forget, it wasn't No Justice. It was something else, but there was a little run of stuff with all that I thought was good. Like I liked some of those Justice League comics, and I liked some of Immortal Hulk. I thought some of that stuff was pretty cool. It's like sort of a horror themed Hulk stuff, but that's just stuff my buddy Troll is like. Here, I like this comic, and he'd get me some graphic novels, and so he's been basically finding me stuff that he thinks I'll like, and he's been right, but that like from what I understand that a lot of the comics they're all over the place. I think they've got other characters switching around. I don't know. I really don't know. It's been Marvel Comics seems like it is kind of all over the place though from what I understand, and it's weird too because I know that with their movies and stuff they have probably not been any more popular than they have been the last 10 years in pop culture, but their actual books I think they're probably struggling to sell them a bit. I don't know. They have been struggling, that's for sure. Uh, let's see. Which mangaka works better for shorter arcs? Like for shorter arcs, instead of long running ones. Well, obviously Togashi does. Um, I think that Urasawa could probably do shorter arc stuff. I know that he usually does long running series, but he's just a good writer. For shorter stuff, you know, in the manga, Toriyama's arcs weren't really always that long. I thought, comparatively speaking. Uh, yeah, for the shorter ones, I think Oda has a lot of good random arcs, though, doesn't he? That don't go on a lot. He has some smaller ones that are pretty good. Like I think that his tightly focused stuff wasn't bad. Like I think that a lot of the big mangaka, especially for the long running shonen stuff, they do good with shorter arcs. It's not really the problem. Yeah. Hey, Frederick. Oh, Elven Lore Master. I like the name. Very fantasy, very D&D, very Tolkienian of you. Tolkien-esque. How is it going? Thank you for joining in. Um, yes, I watched the Kenshin live action. I watched the first movie, Kenny, and I thought it was very good. It's one of the best anime movies I've seen. I think it's very. I got the trilogy. A couple friends of mine gave it to me years ago for like a channel donation or birthday present, and I still got to watch the rest. I got them on Blu-ray, I think. Yeah, I really liked the first movie a lot. It's just the condensed anime series, first couple arcs in one movie. It was good. Oh yeah, Gotham High. I didn't. Did they actually make that a comic though? I thought that I thought that was just a TV idea for a show years ago. Did they make that a comic? Because that looks so cringy. I was just like, oh my. Like I kind of wish it was actually made so we could see how silly it was because it might be like I could see it being funny if it wasn't taken that seriously, but I don't know. I think that wasn't that something that was a potential idea instead of Batman Beyond. Who gave Goku his toughest match in the like? You mean fight wise, or like his closest match power wise? Well, I mean, if you wanna go, I mean, obviously you could say like the more powerful villain, and with each arc, obviously stretching it out. But I think that I think that Vegeta actually gave him his best match because if you remember, because he cheated and he transformed into his Zaro form, he like Goku got more messed up in that fight than any other arc. And if you think about it, it's funny in terms of how close the fight really was in some ways. Vegeta's the fight against the Saiyans was like the most devastating because I mean, it's the only arc really where Vegeta, like a villain was taken down because of multiple people because and it wasn't just purely brute strength. It was like, obviously Gohan transformed and Krillin was helping there, and yeah, Jirobe helped out a bit. Like Goku would have totally lost by himself. So really and I think that might have been the toughest match, though. If we go back to early Dragon Ball, I always thought that some of those tournament arcs had some really good matchups in terms of just equal power. Like obviously the fight against Piccolo and against the first fight against Tien, I thought was like a really, really good fight too, as well. So I don't know. I think that in terms of even fights there, that it probably one of those tournament arcs. But then otherwise, I'd say Vegeta for most brutal matchup. Yeah, I remember I checked out some stuff I think with Rebirth, but like I said, I've really been behind on comics too. Yeah, Dark Knight's Metal might be a good movie idea. You're right, Hero. That might be cool. I saw Long Halloween and I liked what I saw of it. I liked part one, except that they changed a couple things. They changed like one thing, and I'm like, it's not gonna be like Hush where they changed something unnecessarily, and I'm like, I don't really hope. So we'll see. It was pretty good, but I was like, I don't know. I'll have to give it a full judgment when part two comes out. But the first part was pretty good. Oh wow, there is a comic. Huh. It was awful, he says. Alita, yeah, Alita. Well, isn't the anime wasn't the original OVA or whatever pretty graphic because it's one of those early like 80s 90s Japanese OVAs because yeah those that's like probably the I don't know there's something about that era of just really like grindhouse gritty ultra violent exploitation anime OVAs that's just like that's no that's just I love that aesthetic. I really do. Wish there was more stuff like that now. It's just everything's so squeaky clean now. Favorite speed ability in anime? Ooh, Berta. He's the fastest in the universe, of course. Just a fast blue lizard. No. In anime, actually, I can't think of like everybody. There's so many anime where so many people were just really fast, and that was just a thing. A specific one, I'm drawing a blank. Wasn't there one character in Naruto who was really fast? Wasn't he like one of the villains? Help me out. I think I might have liked him, but I forget. I don't know. I could just say instant transmission, but that's cheating. Yeah, canceled animated show. So those are two different things. Oh, yeah, it could be like his Machete, which I watched Machete for the first time actually, which I thought it was pretty good. It's pretty good. Black Widow MCU character analysis. Maybe I know you really like me to do some of those Marvel characters for the movies and shows and Black Widow, I'll be honest, I don't know if I could do an analysis video of her as a character. I see we got people popping in. Because she doesn't have much of one in the movies. Like I could probably say like her relation to some of the other characters, maybe. But like that, analyze sort of her placement and how it was used, or maybe improperly used. I don't know. There's probably other better Scarlett Johansson movies to talk about in terms of analyzing a character. I mean, I could try, but I think it wouldn't be that in depth. Oh yeah, absolutely, Kenny. I think that's literally the biggest problem with any series, any TV show, but especially like an anime and manga. I think that it's hard to sustain it for a long period of time. I mean, really look at any TV show, and generally speaking, once they get past that fifth, sixth, seventh season, things start to become less consistently good a lot of the times. Not always, but it's pretty common. Uh, oh, Killua. Yeah, Killua is great. I actually forgot his ability was speed based. It's been a while since I watched Hunter x Hunter. Got to go back. It's another thing I got to do is watch some of my favorites again. I always really liked. I think Killua's ability was like the most brutal, but I always liked Kurapika's broken weird chain ability. Soul of the Dragon. I didn't see that one. I think I remember it, but that came out a while ago. I think that's one I wasn't super interested in, but I could be wrong. Maybe I started it, but I don't think I finished it. Um, yeah, you're right, Frederick. You're right. That's because I remember in rental stores. That's it. But I've always said that when the early exposure to anime for me was those. Not that I watched many of them because you go by the rental stores and it wasn't really known as anime. It was always in the special interest section. It was with like weird like bodybuilding videos and weird stuff. It was just thrown in there. We don't know. This is just very niche, but somebody clearly likes to buy it. But yeah, that I guess so. It was like that and Pokemon, and I think like Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z. Eventually, you could like rent some of those tapes, but that was about it. Oh yeah, Minato, the Yellow Flash. That's right. That's right. Duh. I was like, I knew who it was. It was like that Yellow Flash, of course. Green Clan again. You want more characters to switch their outfits? I don't know. That always causes a lot of controversy too. Like, oh man, this character changed his costume. Oh no. There's a lot of you got to have variety in costume designs though. So I think you're right. I like mixing it up. You have a favorite design for a character you prefer? That is a question for you. Any of you really got some favorites. I really like. Actually, I really liked the Avengers Spider-Man suit from the '90s that they used with his the extra arms like a spider. That was pretty cool. Yeah. Always also really like Black Suit Spider-Man too. And when it comes to Batman, I've always kind of preferred the '70s. Is that Neil Adams kind of that blue and gray look? I always like that with the really really tall pointed ears. You don't really see the gray and the blue too much. Too much. No, 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 no. I watched Skyfall again. I fell asleep watching Skyfall last night because I wanted to. I was like, I wanted to watch it again. I'm like, and I realized something about Skyfall is that I think for a lot of people that's one of the best James Bond movies, and I will admit that it is. It's pretty well done. It's like a very well put together film, but there's very little actual story there, very little plot. Like I was like kind of like, huh. It's literally just this former MI6 agent that wants revenge on M and tries to kill her. That's like that's most of the movie. It's like there's not much else going on with it. It's very personal, I guess, but it's an extremely simple plot. I mean, not that James Bond plots have to be that complicated, I guess, but I was just like, in terms of elaborate plots, I don't know. It's pretty simple. Hmm. Yeah, I knew there was a manga too. Maybe the manga is more violent. But I don't know. People did like it though, so I don't think it hurt things too much. I don't know what the R. I don't know if the R rating would have improved its popularity or no. I wonder if they'll make another one. I think it did pretty well. Natsu. Oh, okay. You're a Timothy Dalton fan, huh? License to Kill. Ah, yes. Don't know too many Dalton fans. I know he's got his fans. Didn't he only have like two movies? It's like that one and The Living Daylights, I think. I'm pretty sure. Well, pretty show. I'd have to watch his stuff again because I don't remember it. I've actually always really liked Roger Moore, to be honest. I really liked some of his movies. I know that's not a popular opinion either, but I don't know. Yeah, Eggman's all about getting in it. He has like the machinations in the background, but also is obviously has no problem attacking Sonic himself. But couldn't you say the same about Dr. Wily though? He does that quite a bit, doesn't he? Ah, closest to the character. Okay, interesting. Because there's been criticisms about Craig's character too being, more stoic and whatnot. But yeah, they get much more like Sean Connery, of course, has that goofy energy that is most popular with Bond. So it's kind of like sort of the opposite, I guess, of how people feel about Batman. Because you had the popularity of the Adam West series all those years ago, but he was very different than Batman, of course, for a while, and originally at least. Been dope, they said, of the MCU. Absolutely. Oh, silent protagonists? Well, there's quite a few of those. Well, Gordon Freeman is my favorite right now, that's for sure. Ah, yes, the Superman movie. Nick Cage? That might have been good. Oh man. Yes. I want that movie to be made. Absolutely. Like that's the I don't know. It's very possible that it might have been horrible, but it could have been great. The biggest issue with that movie, I feel like, is that I just feel like the technology probably wouldn't have been quite there for it. Like, yeah, but I don't know, like a late '90s, early 2000s Superman movie with a mullet wearing Nicolas Cage fighting a giant spider. Brainiac sounds good. It sounds good to me, honestly. I might be campy, but I'd probably enjoy it. Man, we got more viewers coming in, but they got to ask more questions. Be like Jeffrey Combs and don't forget to ask the question. You should fight the answer, that obscure Marvel villain, who I don't know if he actually had answers for anything. He just had like a bandana, right? Weird looking villain, just silly looking, very campy, dark and edgy, huh? Well, that's kind of the way Man of Steel was, wasn't it? I mean, they're all going for that gritty sort of. That's pretty much all DC's doing these days, right? No first date better than mini golf. Please say I'm right. No first date is better. Uh, it's kind of ironic. The girl I was dating most recently hated mini golf and never wanted to do it. So actually, it really depends. I think mini golf is a good first date, probably for potential making fun of ourselves. But the good thing is you don't have to be good at golf to impress somebody. So it's like it's kind of, I think mini golf is probably a good one. Bowling's not too bad. I think bowling could be potentially more embarrassing, but if you're both bad, then it's good. I mean, arcades are good if they're still around. Movies classic, but I actually don't think movies are good for first dates as much of a movie guy as I am, because I think you want to talk to people, you want to get to know them. You don't really interact too much on a first date, unless you're doing something else. But that's probably not what you're going for. I don't know. You can always go out to eat somewhere. That's always pretty good. I think like a walk in a park or something, a hike is good. Let's see. Yep. Well, that's what became of it. That unused idea became Wild Wild West. That's the legend. Exactly. You can't talk. That's why it's like, I think it's a common one for young people, but like it's not the best for a first date. That's like a second or third date sort of thing. Yeah. Ugh. 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 Yeah, that's true too. That could be uncomfortable for people too. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's true. Uh, I don't know. That's most of my main ideas. Then you have to start getting more creative, I guess. Ah, yes. John Peters. Is that the guy that did it? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, arcades are good, but there are not as many around now. I mean, there's bigger ones like we got Dave and Buster's around here, which I it's kind of really loud, and they've got a lot of these more modern games, and I'm like, I kind of want like a smaller one that has like all the older, older boxed ones, like you can play Golden Axe or something. It's like, I mean, they're all like too new. They're too new and too flashy. It's not quite the same. Well, we hit the hour mark, so I'm getting a little tired actually. So I'll tell you what, people, send in your final questions here, and we'll probably rack it up something. Anything make them cry? I mean, sure, things have, but sure, a lot of things potentially could. Maybe not on the first date though. Ah, furlough. Well, that's the way a lot of people have been, unfortunately. Hopefully, that'll be wrapping up soon for people. I think it seems like it's going a better direction, but yeah, I'm gonna be so busy with that too that's gonna be something I don't know. I'm probably not gonna be doing much of that for a while either. Oh, I get it. That's why it's a dream. Favorite rap music? Um, well, probably something a little bit more old school. I confess I like a lot of Eminem and a lot of the associated Dr. Dre stuff. I like a lot of their things. I also really like this group called Jedi Mind Tricks. They're pretty good. Um, I also like what's their name? Flowbots. They're pretty cool. So one of them. Oh no, I did not get to the Witcher books, unfortunately. I got this big pile of books I got to read, and I got to study more for class. I gotta get back into kind of refreshing myself on a lot of the classics, a lot of the British and American literature again. So I got a long list of things. I did one of my friends actually I forget if he got it for me or he told me to get it. Actually got me The Witcher 3, so I might play that. I played some of the first Witcher game, which I thought was okay. But I don't know. It was all right. I thought I don't know. Combat really annoyed me. Oh, Galloping Ghost Arcade. I don't know. I don't know if it's mine. I think there's a couple more old school arcades that are sort of around here. So I'd have to probably drive out of town to go to them. But I know there's a couple that aren't too far from me. But I'd prefer to go something like that than one of the than something that's like a modern, bigger one with alcohol. Not that I mind that, but it's mostly just really loud and it's not really older games. Yeah, I know, man. I know. Everybody's always like, man, just play Witcher 3. It doesn't matter. I'm like, I like to play things chronologically. I do. I like to try, but I tried to play Witcher 2 a long time ago, but I was bad at it. And I'm like, what? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I probably should just break down play 3, but I kind of want to play Mass Effect again. Oh, hmm. I can't really think of anything specific, unfortunately, for you, Kenny. But I do know that there have been some dubs where I've really hated the voice actors a lot, and that is true. I wish I could think of something specific. Yeah, that's what I heard. Actually, I heard it was a pretty good remaster. Um, I might just play the OG one since I've got it already, but I know it looks cool. So yeah, well, if that's the finality of the questions, not a bad little turnout. I think might wrap it up. So thank you everybody for tuning into this little one. I might stream something else later if people are keeping their eyes out. But yeah, there might be a few more videos coming up. I've been doing some stuff with the channel, going over some of my friends' favorite movies, so you can check that out. Just put out a little video about Hakusho. There might be some more of those. some more podcasts and probably some updates as we get closer to the end of August here. But should be still some videos coming out over the next couple weeks, though. I don't know. We shall see. All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate the support as usual, and I'll see y'all later. All right, everybody. Stay magical.